Happy Monday.
Coming at you with, literally, I love this chick. I love her so much. Her name is Madeline. Her book is I Survived Capitalism and All I Got Was This Lousy t-shirt. And the reason that we read this book is because I'm in love with her and I'm obsessed with her and I follow her on TikTok. And I watched like a lot of her TikTok videos and I pre-ordered her book and it was good. And I want you all to buy it.
Yeah. This is our second time listening to it.
Yeah. So, she literally just gives like a lot of grace for people in poverty and gives a lot of examples. Real. And like right away in the beginning of the book, it does have something like sad, super sad. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna like a death. It's very sad. Yeah. And then it gets brought up like later on in the book too, like so sad. But she really talks about how people in poverty, like, wouldn't say that they were in poverty. Basically, people that grow up in poverty think other people have it worse than them. But she explains it very, like,
or like elegantly. A lot of people that are actually homeless wouldn't consider themselves homeless.
Yeah.
Because even though they're, like, staying on someone's couch or sleeping in an abandoned building for a month or their vehicle. Like a lot of those people wouldn't classify as like the statistics of homeless.
But that actually makes up the majority of homeless people. Yes. So most homeless people like do have jobs, are not standing on street corners. They like need to like couch surf or stay with relatives and actually, I've stayed with relatives in the past, and I have said to my husband, like, that is homeless. And my husband will even say, like, no. And I'm like, well, Google it. It is. So she talks about that, gives a lot of statistics, like, very down to earth, very relatable, very, like, eye-opening, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. In the beginning of the book, my biggest thing was, you know, just like how you're brought up about money. Like my parents were never good with money. I wasn't taught how to like save money. I wasn't taught about paying bills. I wasn't taught about a budget. I wasn't taught any of that. Like our family was just like coasting and bills were paid late. I wouldn't say we ever had like electricity shut off or anything like that. Like I don't remember that. At least my mom did a good job at hiding stuff from me. So who's to say we didn't? Yeah. But like, you know, like I hear a lot of people talk about, you know, what you learn in school about money and like credit cards and school loans and debt. Like it's not talked about. And I think in this book, she does a really good job, like explaining that. And like the system is not working to like help us. Yeah. You know, like they're prying and taking advantage of people that don't know that kind of thing. You know, they don't know that, you know, once you rack up a credit card, it's going to take you forever to pay off. Like you're just borrowing money and trying to get by and, you know, paying for things that you can't afford. So you're like, you know, using credit just to stay afloat when in the long run, it's really hurting you. And then what was the other thing? Like, interest rates for like low income people or like people that don't have good credit. Like again, they're just prying on you and hurting you. And
yeah, I mean, basically she gives a example from her life, like young, in high school, right out of high school. She did go to college. She gives she talks like real life stories about her life, and then she breaks it down into like capitalist survival skills. And like at one point her car kept getting broken into, and she like put a note like, hey, I can't afford to replace the window, like please break into the Lexus or BMW like or Mercedes behind me. Like,
but she like also said, I understand that you are in tough times and that you need to do this, but I'm in the same boat, so I can't afford to keep fixing it, so please don't. And her car never got broken into again.
Yeah, and that's like it. Like she just gives all this stuff where it's like, basically, don't feel guilt, don't feel shame, like, if you don't know this stuff. And then she gives, like, this is how a credit score works. The different, you know, systems are going to give you different numbers. And she really breaks it down. Like, her mom told her certain stories about credit and certain stories about income, and her dad had, like, a different vibe on it. And she gives those examples and is basically like, you're not a bad person if you have money trouble. Like,
yeah, and she always says, like, it's like, if you're in debt and you're not, like, being able to pay your loan, it's not you that failed, it's the bank that failed.
She says they do, like, a risk assessment when they loan you money, and if they loaned you too much and you can't, like, pay it back, that's on them. I'm like, yeah. I just love her. I literally love her so much. I love that she gives actual tangible tips for credit, for buying a house, cheap meal ideas, like different business ideas. Like, she gives you, like, tangible things you can do to improve your life, your well-being, your money situation. And she does it with, like, charisma. I don't need, like, I just love her. The audiobook,
a really good person.
Yeah, the audiobook is her voice, and she does break down her business that she owns, which is, like, my second favorite thing, is the business that she owns. So the business, you have a 4-day work week. Everyone makes the same day pay. There's one point where everyone got cars. She paid off everyone's debt. The one girl that didn't drive a car at the time, she got furniture for the house. They made a vote and did gym memberships for everyone. They did a different vote. Everyone got free lunches, like, bought by the company. And then at one point she comes in and she's like, hey, like, who wants to buy a house? I think we should all buy houses. And she, like, breaks down, helps everyone in the company buy houses. And people will be like, oh, that's not sustainable long term, because I do follow her on TikTok. And she's like, no, actually, I've been doing this business for, like, whatever, you know, however long, and it makes profit. And she's like, yeah, profits go up and down. So when profits aren't as high, they, like, vote on what to cut out, like the gym membership or the lunches.
Yeah, like, they decide together, like, how to spend their money and where to save, which is super cool.
And she just talks about how, like, you don't need to be, like, a CEO buying a baby yacht for your big yacht. And I just love her voice. I love this book so much. This is gonna be a really quick episode, you guys.
There's so many quotes that I wrote down, but I was having printer issues. And I'm real sad. And, like, statistics about the book. So maybe I'll post a few, like, with the show notes. But there's a lot of things that, like, the statistics that I really, really, really liked. And just, like, I don't know. Just, like, the world is not working for you. Like, you...
Yeah. So if you're not going to buy her book, which I think you should, I want to support her, like, 1,000,000%, like, every day till the day that I die. Go follow her on TikTok. She breaks down a lot of the stuff on TikTok too for free. It is an audiobook book with her reading it, and the books are still in Barnes & Noble. Like, it just came out, I think, in February.
It did.
She
because
did.
I don't know where it was, but it was just, like, new releases, and she was still listed on there.
Yeah. She did one small book tour, and I think she's doing a second one, and I would kind of, like, low-key love to meet her. But she says in the book too, like, good people are still good people when they're just good people with money. So, like, you're not, and she, like, breaks it down that way too, like, you're not going to get money and, like, all of a sudden be a bad person and, like, do bad stuff. Like, if you're a good person and you get more money, you're still going to be a good person. And it, like, a lot of those mental breaks and stuff she talks about. But my number one favorite thing that she says is, like, her little ADHD hack to making sure that all of her bills get paid. And so what she does is she has 3 separate bank accounts at 3 separate institutions, so they're not easy to transfer to. And she puts one bank account, has all of her bills on auto pay, and the amount that she needs goes directly in there however often they get paid. Like, so if you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, however, and, like, say you need $500 a week to pay your bills, you would put $500 in there automatically at one account, like bank account, and you don't cover that debit card. You like set everything up for autopay, and then that's it. And then your one bank account, which is at another institution. So again, if you were to even transfer, it would take like multiple days, and you know, and that's your savings account. And I think she even says like hers started with like $5 or $10, like a paycheck. Yeah. So that's like at one totally different institution. And then again, I think her spending account was only like $15 a week.
10. It was 10.
Yeah.
But she says that's very important. Otherwise, you won't stick to it.
Yes. And that's at a place where she doesn't allow overdraft. So you can't like go super negative on it. And then that's the debit card she uses for if she wants a coffee, if she wants to grab a beer, a movie, whatever, with her friends. And that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and then another thing I really loved about the book is like normalizing talking about money issues and debt, and like being open with like your friends and your community. Like, sorry, I can't do this. I'm paying down my credit card debt.
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
she does.
Things like that. So she's very open about it, where I think in today's I can't talk. Words are hard today. So sorry. But like people just keep all that hush hush. Like you would never know that so many people are struggling with credit card debt and everything. But she's very open about it. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she does very much say like, tell your friends. How does she word it? It's basically like, it's not a no forever, but like it's a no for now. Or like,
yes. Hopefully next year I'll be in a better
she
like
does
financial state where I can join along
next year, which it's like, but I just love that she gives her real life example, and then how she like not dumbs it down, but breaks it down into action items. Love her so much.
It's a good book.
Check out the book. We will talk to you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.